And then bringing your attention to your whole body again. Head to toes. Notice the space that your body is in, the space your body is occupying. Notice the space all around your body as well. And notice if you're having any thoughts about your experience. One function of the thoughts stream or of that layer of the mind is to observe and comment, evaluate. Sometimes we might get in a situation where we're wishing something was different than it is. Other times we might really be enjoying the feeling in the body or the peace. The one thing that we can count on with experience is that it shifts and changes. It's not permanent. When we talk about kindness and compassion, there are so many layers in which we can work with this. And this is one of these times when we could notice how it is that we're interacting with our experience, what thoughts are coming up about what it is that we observed as we were doing this relaxation, this awareness practice. Many of us have a persistent sense that there's something wrong. There's something wrong with our bodies, there's something wrong with the energy in the bodies, there's something wrong with the way we've lived our lives. Might even be there's something wrong with life. There's something wrong with the way we react to things. Even something as simple as how we take a few minutes and relax the body and the breath and notice what's going on. We might even still have a judgment around that. Maybe around the way we did it and we should have been more focused. Maybe around what we found when we were looking. For goodness sake, we should have a slower breath pattern by now. So whatever it is that you found when you were looking and that you're noticing right now, see if you can hold that with some kindness, some compassion for yourself. And then bring to mind something that is fairly common for you to have uncomfortable feelings around or resistance with. It doesn't have to be anything really major. It could be something that feels kind of minor, but that seems to affect you. Maybe it's the way you feel when you look in the mirror. It could be the way you feel when you're interacting with somebody, or your frustration over not going to bed on time. It could be anything. And as you're noticing it, notice how it is that that comes up. Mostly it will come up in either words or images. It could be a still picture, it could be a memory clip. And as you're paying attention to that, notice if you're judging yourself, if you're holding yourself harshly in any way at all. And if that is the case, you would be noticing that with either words or images, and probably sensation as well. Scan your body for a moment and notice what's happening in your body. Did you stop breathing? Oftentimes we hold our breath. If that's the case, let the breath start to move again, to flow. There might be a tightness somewhere in your body, the back of the shoulders, maybe the stomach. As we're noticing our experience, it's very helpful to notice that this is a reactivity or a reaction that's built right into our nervous system. We all have habits of the mind and habits of the body, and a lot of those are based on the nervous system, our threat perception, our resistance and reaction to threat, contraction. That's a natural function of a human being. And even if we're noticing patterns that we feel are causing us suffering, maybe it's some kind of reaction to something, maybe it's a frustration that we're not living up to what we think we should be doing, or whatever it is. But all of this is natural, it's human, and then we often take that natural experience and judge ourselves for it, contract more around it. And that's part of what can turn a painful or frustrating situation into suffering. The judgment that we have, the unkindness that we can have for ourselves. Notice if there's a willingness to let yourself off the hook. Maybe to let someone else off the hook. If we're doing it as a loving kindness practice, we would work with it on 3 levels: ourselves, another person, and for all beings everywhere. May I be free of suffering and the root of suffering. May I be free of suffering and the root of suffering. May the people near to me be free of suffering and the root of suffering. May the people near to me be free of suffering and the root of suffering. May all beings everywhere be free of suffering and the root of suffering. May all beings everywhere be free of suffering and the root of suffering. And as those three phrases resonate in your awareness, your consciousness, notice your experience in your body, in your energy, your feelings. Notice your breath. May we all be free of suffering and the root of suffering. And whatever responses are coming up, notice that. Notice that in the body and in the thoughts, words, pictures. See if there's a possibility of holding yourself in kindness, compassion. And as you think of it, turn your attention back to this practice. You could do it as a formal practice with the phrases, or you could simply notice, is it possible for me to hold myself with kindness and compassion with whatever it is that's arising? And then when you're ready, open your eyes.